Thank you for coming. So nice to do a program in the stage which I designed. I feel very proud. So basically, it was an interesting project, and you should imagine that's a government project. This is very close to the Mangalavanam. There, if you look at that area, is Mangalavanam, where the birds are staying. So that's a very big challenge for me, not to disturb the birds. One of the main concern of this project is not to disturb the birds. That is how it is done. So I didn't build a building. In fact, I built an open space actually. It's a landscape which I did and tucked all the facilities underneath, like the semi-basement and what do you call that art gallery and things like that underneath, so that all you see is a terrace. So birds will see only the terrace, not the building. And in addition, what we did is we did a forest on one side. The idea of the forest is to to hide the building for the birds. Lightings, if you look at the lighting also, is very subtle. All the lighting is under your seat, so that you don't see any open lights except for the 3 lights on the stage. There are no other, the footpath lights, there is no other lights. Sound level. I want to keep the sound level also low. All the speakers are also underneath this, but today we are working on another speaker. But normally the speakers are just under the seat, so the sound level is not a big blast of sound. So you only hear what you want to hear. That is the stage. So it becomes very sort of informal place. You can hear at the same time you don't know the source of sound. So that's about the birds. What I did when government asked me to do this, I went through what you call the poet himself. I read all his poems. All his poems I read, because I know Malayalam. So I read all his poems and went through his life. I knew whatever he did, I completely studied, because I am designing a memorial for a poet. I have to respect the poet first, so I had to know what kind of person he is. He is one of that. He's not like a normal poet. He is totally different. He has got a lot of range. He is a philosopher. He is an art lover. He's an internationalist. He's traveled a lot. He's a mythic. I'm introducing my brother Vijay Kumar, who is just walking in. Please give a hand to him. He's a designer, one of the greatest designers in the world. He is situated in the US. So he was here for vacation, so I asked him to come also. So his writings, his awards, he got so many awards, including the Jnanapith Award and Padma Bhushan. He was a Rajya Sabha member. He was a Congress candidate in the Rajya Sabha member. Ironically, though he is a Congress fellow, this monument is built by Edward Bishop. That's the best part. So that's why I say the mayor is so great. You want to respect the poet, irrespective of the party he is representing. So what I did is I worked on his philosophy, and I found that he has got a certain rigidness. He is not like Chengambura, or even, I'm talking about poets from Kochi, Chengambura or Vailapalli. He's not that. In the sense, like, he's not that flowing thing, like not that romantic. Though the romantic, it's on rigid platforms. On rigid platform, he's got straight lines and more or less strict. Maybe someday something like me, I would say I'm a little rigid. So that goes with it. So I understood what his thing is. The poetry is also quite rigid, and sometimes very difficult to understand. Some words are very, very difficult to understand. But I went through with great difficulty, I went through the words. So I walked on a rigid platform, and I took one of the rigidest forms, which is a triangle. I walked with triangles. In fact, I didn't draw first. I worked with cut triangles in my house. I worked the whole project in my house, not in the office, because I didn't want anybody to disturb me. I have a little kudu in my house where I can sit quietly in a Yermadam. I cut the triangles, as a basic format for working out the design. So we placed the triangles at various levels. That's what I did, at various levels. And his life also, step by step, he was coming up to Padma Bhushan. So he had various levels of his life. So I worked with the triangles and levels. The first triangle is a museum underneath. I hope everybody has seen. If they have not seen the place, you can go around after this. The first triangle is possibly the museum, which is at the lower semi-basement area. Then we have the next triangle, which is the art gallery. The museum, you can access to the art gallery, which is also triangle. Very interesting. The art gallery is a form. The triangle form for art gallery is very good in the sense like it got maximum wall space in wall area in the minimum space occupying. So it's very economical to do an art gallery in a triangular form. I wish all art galleries in the world are in triangular forms. So you got a long walls on three sides, so the space is lesser. So you climb from the museum to the next level, which is art gallery. Then you come up here. This space also, if you look at it, are two triangles. This triangle is a stage triangle, which I am sitting. The second triangle is where you are sitting. So when the triangles, I created the levels, to get a view. And this becomes a stage. Stage also, I didn't want to be, it's an informal stage. Like it's basically meant for poetry reading or monologues or stand-up comedies or music. It's not like for dramas and huge dance. It's not that. Because it doesn't work with this philosophy. It's just, maybe you can have a literary talk here. That's what I meant. I hope they run like that. So the people, you are sitting not on a chair. You are sitting on a bench-like thing. Idea that if you put a chair, I have the backs of the chairs, which is obstructing the next person. Mostly you don't see the other person. If you put chairs there, it becomes very, so we want to make it as you sit in your house, on your veranda, on your tinna or something like that. I just want to create that thing, so I don't want to put any chairs. In fact, at one point, the engineers were asking, where are you going to put the chairs? I said, don't worry. You come at the out finishing, I'll give you a place to sit. So it's very informal. I'm also now sitting on the ground, so I enjoy that. Of course, they can put chairs or something. On the stage, you can put chairs. So this second triangle is that. And the format is that it's also triangle. Advantage of triangle for an auditorium is maximum people are on the front. Minimum people are on the back. So most of the people come very close. In fact, this place should work without mic. That's the original philosophy. You don't need mic. You talk and you hear. No sound is needed. That's the idea. It's like your home, you're in the living room, that kind of situation. Then the second level, you are climbing up to the next level. Most of the people have not seen it. That we call the History Plaza. And you got a few steps. Don't worry, you have so many steps because all the areas can be accessed by a ramp. There's a ramp running behind you, which is going to all the levels. So wheelchair can go everywhere. So we don't want to deny the access to this place. So we have this. The next level is that History Plaza, where actually, because you should know something about him, you should know. So his story, his lifestyle, his life and times are exhibited there on vertical plaques. So we have collected information, very key information. If you want to really write about him, it will run to pages. So we had problem of containing the matter to about 6 plaques in Malayalam as well as English. So 6 plus 6, 12 plaques. So that was a tough job. So I asked them, I don't want to touch on the matter which is to be put there. If there is any controversy, I'll be caught. So as an architect, I want to be caught. I told the corporation people, you work on this and give it to me. Then I'll make it possible here. So that was a little confusion there. Because in corporation, within the corporation also, there are not many people who are knowledgeable. So what they did is, they contacted some professors in the universities and came out with a matter. Even that matter I had to reduce. That part I worked, and I had to type it out again, check it. In fact, to put in Malayalam typewriting is very rare. So I asked my wife sitting here. She did most of the work for going to the sitting with the typist and getting all that words corrected. Not even one mistake means the photographer, press photographer will take that mistake and put it in the newspaper. So she took a lot of care on that. So it was sent to the graphic fellow who converted into graphics. And originally that was supposed to be marble. Then the corporation didn't want to spend that much money, and they didn't want to load the slab also. That's another problem. This whole place is sitting in very marshy area. Probably this is the worst soil I have ever seen in my whole life. Second worst is where my house is there. This is the worst soil because it's all filled with plastic and all kinds of waste material, and the N value was 0, 0, 0, 0, 50 meters 0, say 60 meters 0. What to do? This is a tough job. So my brother did the structure, so he sort of worked with what is available. He is very good at what is available, created a via media solution for that. So we are very happy that. So also wanted to reduce the weight also. So that's our history museum. From the history museum, you go to the next level, which is actually the monument. You are going to see the monument. The monument, probably what they expect is a sculpture or a burst of the Kavi, which is happening all over, or the Kaka so we didn't want to put that. Actually the monument is Odakudal. Monument is an Odakudal, about 6 meters long. Odakudal means flute. He got the award, Jnanapida, the highest award, first time in India from the President of India, for writing that poem Odakudal. His most famous poetry, of course, is Odakudal. So we just wanted to show the Odakudal. So you'll see the Odakudal. It is not in a very neat, clean Odakudal. It's all dirty and rusted. So people are asking, where you are putting a rusted Odakudal? We put a nice brass Odakudal or something like that. I said, read the poetry, then come back. You'll understand you can only put rusted. The whole poem is about the condition of Odakudal in its great days of time when it's really used by masters. Odakudal has got a value, all clean, neat, he'll keep it clean. So when he dies, the Odakudal also gets into a similar death. It's highly philosophical. And it's thrown. Some days he says it becomes charam. Charam means this thing. It gets burned, or it goes to the earth, or fills in the water. So it's a rusted. So we picked the rusted Odakudal, that's what I blow. That is our monument, is a rusted Odakudal. I had a lot of problem convincing people of the especially government fellows why the rusted Odakudal is standing there. So what I am going to do, which is I have not done so far, is going to display the actual poetry next to it. Then people will understand. When you read through, you will understand. Another charamaya dust, so you will understand what exactly it is. So this not putting his bust or something created a little problem. Chief Secretary at that time, Joy, who is also a writer, he is known as a good writer. He writes poems and leganams and all that. So he came for an initial meeting to check whether it's happening. He was surprised the way this was going fast. There is some picture, I have a mural done in wire, which is standing there. So that's how it is. All these spaces are different views. Like I said, the stage is for events and talks and poetry. History is to understand him. Then the top level the Odakudal is having, I call it tranquility space. It's a very tranquil space. We are here to look at this place with respect. So that also is a yoga center for us. Morning we are trying to conduct yoga. And we are going to run. Some of the things are not yet finished. Run music, flute music, throughout, very light flute music. Doesn't affect any program here. So when you go there, you have the flute music. And the morning you can have yoga. so that the place people should come. No place becomes great unless people come. So we have a lot of buildings and libraries and all that built. Nobody goes, especially when done by government. So that's what happens. So we want to be very active. So I also got involved in the maintenance and management situation. I told the mayor, we had a meeting yesterday, how this place is to be maintained. This place is going to be maintained by CHED. CHED is another organization, research, cultural and heritage, some organizations there, under corporation, but it works under Dr. Rajan, who is a smart fellow. He will understand what it is. So we have decided for them to run. And then also you put curators. You should curators for the art, for these programs here, and for yoga. So they are going to appoint a curator. So he is going to finally control all this space. Now, regarding these, you see a lot of walls here. So I wanted to contain everything inside. Though there's a beautiful landscape outside, I contain people's attention within this space. It's an inward-looking monument. Everything is looking inwards. So that's the walls. Walls are there everywhere. It also has a separation and also gives certain intrigueness to when you don't see the History Plaza from there unless you walk up. So that kind of surprise element is there. So the wall is going. So if you look at the wall here, this wall is starting like that and is going up, and going up till the monument. Then the last point, the triangular portion, faces the tower. It's in the same lane. There's some magnetic attraction between the last end of the wall to the tower. It looks like it is just going. So that is how his life also went like that. No, life also went like that, from lower to ultimately he reached the top. That's actually water tank. The highest point is actually water tank. Reached that. So that wall has, all these walls have different meaning, a good meaning. I painted it totally white because if you read his philosophy, he is a very simple person. He always wears white and white. He doesn't have any colors. So put everything in white, which is a good color architects like. So that's. So when the trees grow, finally I think, I forgot about the forest which I created. We created a forest using, Mahakavi method. We don't call it Mahakavi here. We call it Kawaki. That's a word I coined, became a word by the corporation, official word of corporation. Any forest corporation building, they'll call it Kawaki, not Mahakavi. Mahakavi is a Japanese name. Kawaki means made like a cow. Cow, the old cow. So Kawaki is a word which sounds like Mahakavi, but it's a word which is accepted by mayor. So we selected the trees also, which is sometimes very familiar with the cow. So they were saying, when the cow comes, snakes come. They're good. It's a place for snakes. You're occupying their space. Let the snakes be there. No problem. You don't meddle with them. That's all. When these trees grow, it will grow over this, I hope. That tree which is there. Now, when all those trees grow there, all the branches are going to come over this. I need this because it's slightly hot in daytime, because the sun comes from here. So daytime, I hope the trees will protect. Evening is very pleasant like this, so no issues. So that is the story of this place. If you want to discuss anything or talk to me or any of these things, I am open for all of you.
Good evening, sir. Wonderful work. Happy to see something like this in Cochin. I hope more works and you are an inspiration. You will become an inspiration to a lot of other youngsters and the architects who are getting or planning to get retired, still staying young. Not related to architecture, just you said, you read all the poems and of the poet. So is there any particular verse that is there in your mind that is very striking, that really, made you sleepless in the nights?
Yeah. Basically, he has done serious poetry and also for children. The Pumbata story, Pumbata. That's a very interesting line for children. He writes Bala Sahityam and the serious things. I think the best I liked is definitely the Odakural thing, which says Odakural has become a memory. And I cannot recite it exactly. It's very interesting. The Odakural was a memory. It's gone down to the earth. It becomes Sharam. So that's it. But One day it will rise to the heart of people. That is the last paragraph of the water code, which struck me like anything. So that's why the symbol, the monument came because of the last paragraph of the poetry water code.
And it is quite a matter to applaud ma'am, who is, you said she's taken a lot of effort in helping you out to do this. So I think a big hand goes to her also. Thank you.
As a business, I'm losing definitely the amount of time I spend. She used to say every day, you go to Mahakavi Smarakam, don't you have any work in the office?
Sir, you did mention the soil was very loose and it was not strong enough. So was there any particular material considered to reduce the load exactly, or?
Yeah, because first thing is I didn't want 2 stories. I didn't want 2 stories. That's why all the built-up space. So here are only walls. The actual load is only of the walls, except the basement part, which is something like a raft, so it can take the load. I didn't use a lightweight brick, which I could have used. Very difficult to work with the government, to work with the lightweight bricks. They don't understand.
Sir, first of all, actually, ഞാൻ കയറി വന്നപ്പം I was telling my friends here that ഈ സ്ഥലം കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പം the beauty of this space was this entire space can be maintained with 1 bucket of say white paint. So that's the purity of architecture I felt here, and I think this is one of the very few places where true architecture exists actually. So that is really it was a moving it really moved me actually. In this what we see is a diarrhea of materials, I would say. So adil ninnoru welcome change, and it took us back to the architecture we learned actually, and which we have forgotten. So thank you for reminding us what architecture is. Thank you very much.
Normally what they would have expected me, originally when they came, they would have expected a Kerala style building with a exposed brick and tile roof and things like that, which is happening everywhere. A monument means like that. So deviating from there was the toughest job. And that part my mayor helped me. He is with us. Otherwise, fortunately, even Chief Secretary came later. Otherwise, he would have definitely suggested Kerala style and all that, which happens all over. Kerala style, I don't know what it is.
First of all, sir, I'd like to say this is really commendable and inspiring for all us young architects. You already mentioned that you worked with triangles to develop a form like this, but I wanted to understand, at what stage did it form into plans, and how did that form about?
Actually, I took the cut pieces of the board to my office and asked the computer fellow to draw it. I kept it various levels. So how it's originally, I didn't draw anything. In fact, I didn't draw at all originally. Later on, I started sketching, but initially I didn't draw anything. I was using scissors, and originally all the cut triangles were taken to office. Then there was somebody who can draw this thing, and then added the steps, and then they created a 3D. So that's how it originated. I didn't really draw.
I came a bit late. I missed some part of your introduction. So you mentioned we have seen that this is an open air auditorium. Why was it made an open air? Was it a government requirement, or it is your choice?
No, it was. We have a space underneath also, which is air conditioned. We have in the museum. There's a small meeting place, which is again triangular. In case of rain, you can have the meeting. So open air theatre is something, when you sit in the open air theatre, your mind goes like that. When you are contained in an air conditioned space, your mind is restricted. It's like it's a human tendency. You're not free. You're not free. This you are free. You feel that you are sitting on your veranda or your house and then talk. That's the idea. Once you are contained inside, you are sitting in an auditorium, you are worried about the sound systems and air conditioning, all that thing. So that you lose yourself in open air theatre. And also I didn't want to build, you missed the first part, because of birds.
Thank you.
I didn't want to build a structure. I built a landscape, and utilities I tucked underneath, the museum and art gallery, tucked underneath. So there is no building here. It's actually open space.
So, a couple of questions. One is, regarding the choice of materials, you already mentioned that you wanted it simple white. So was paint your original choice, or it is because of you wanted something more permanent, but which is whitish? That is one question. And yeah, because of the compromise, you chose to paint. And second thing is, how do you ensure that this building remains for the public? Okay, I have some experience, like this public places like Subhash Park. I found that 8 o'clock it closes, and I was really, really very angry. In the afternoon also it's closed. So it's run for the people who work there, not for the public. So these are the two questions I want to ask. How will you ensure that it will remain like this?
So the white color, though it's white, it is not an ordinary paint. It's a very expensive paint. We have put touch-shade paint. This paint is expensive. I convinced them to do that because I know it will go. In fact, I want to put a small marble or white thing with a coping on top, which protects the top portion where it really gets dirty. Then finally, I threw it away because that line would have created my wall, destroyed my wall. So I didn't put that thing. Last minute I abandoned that. I just want a wall to go like that. So maybe it will have, after some time, it will go bad. So maintenance system has to work. So I help the corporation on working with the product.
What your paint was the original choice, or you wanted something more permanent, like some mosaic or something originally, or you chose paint right from the beginning?
Yeah, I chose paint because first of all I had to bring down the cost because they don't have much money. That's one thing. I cannot do what I could have put marble, white marble. I just told even that plaque I reduced from marble to printed aluminum. It's actually printed aluminum, baked. The letter is baked onto aluminum. So I reduce the cost. I can't afford to put the marble there. Then, so what is the second question? That how to?
I mean, how do you ensure that? How do you ensure that this place
Yeah,
is actually can be used by the public?
Yeah. So what yesterday this big meeting, very useful meeting with the mayor, where we worked only on how to make this place live and how to maintain this place. That is the only discussion we had, nothing else, not on bills or cost or nothing. So we had C-Head fellow, Mr. Dr. Rajan, and one engineer from Cochin Corporation, myself and one chairman from these are all the 4 people sitting together. Worked out all the parameters, how to run this. We even calculated the number of people needed for maintaining this. And it has to be a contract. It has to be a contract under, it is not a salary-based thing. So contracts only work. Salary means they don't work. That's only. So so each item, how to maintain, who will water the plants, how the trees are. We have drip irrigation on all the trees. Where is the water coming? The biggest problem. So we cannot ask the drinking water to be used for trees. So we are making alternate this thing. Rainwater harvesting means only a certain period. So we are going to have a desalination plant for desalinating this thing for the plants. So we don't want to misuse the drinking. So all those minor things so we have different tanks for desalinated water, drinking water tank, and the entire water which falls in can goes to rainwater harvesting. The ramps there, every ramp is not put, still not put, there's a hole there and the water is taken into this. So entire water is going to be saved for, but that works only for a small period. So all the plants are, if you look at it, all sturdy plants which can survive without any much of maintenance. So I don't put rose flowers and kind of flowers and all that which all trees, how it works. The forest principle is that how trees grow in forest. Nobody waters. That's the idea of Mahakavi or Kawaki. When the trees grow, it survives by itself. It creates its own ecosystem, but trees will survive. Nobody puts water on trees. That's why we didn't want a garden there. We want the trees there. So trees are planted very close. If you can look at this, very close, and some of them will die off. Some of them will survive. So that is how the trees are. So these kind of systems are very good. Then making the life is very good. So that's why we decided to have an anchor, a curator who will run like academy. You don't get space for painting exhibition, art exhibition in Kochi. Very difficult. You go and try to book in that Lalitkar Academy Hall, Darbahar Hall, they will give a date which is 6 months off. I have tried this. I have done a one-man show there. You have to book 6 months in advance to get a space. Entire art spaces in Fort Kochi are sold out. So that will run. That is the income generating thing. So we also worked on the income has to be generated. One is the art gallery. And also if anybody wants to do a stage program, we will definitely charge for the stage program. There's no ticketing for the whole place. Then the third point is a cafeteria, which is not yet built. We just couldn't get time to complete that. It's on the rear side. There's a small cafeteria with a glass roof with creepers underneath, which is yet to be built. So we didn't get the time to finish. So cafeteria also will bring. So the money, where are the money coming also we worked out. Of course, corporation is ready to spend a certain amount of money for maintenance. So it will be maintained by CHEAD, not Kochi Corporation. CHEAD is a very powerful. They are maintaining, for example, the She Lodge. CHEAD is maintaining the She Lodge. They are maintaining the Subhash Bose Park here. Now it's very well maintained, not the original Subhash Park. Subhash,
Entry is not there, sir.
Entry? I know. So art galleries will open up to 7:30 because world over the rule is 11 to 7. Any art gallery, even the academy, you go 11 to 7, Monday holiday. Anywhere, museum also, anywhere in the world is the rule. This space will be open. This space will open. We have made arrangements to open up to 9:30 will be open. All the lighting. This is a place where people can only a little worried whether people misuse this place. That also is a problem, like what happened in Marine Drive. Marine Drive, you cannot go after a certain time of the evening, you cannot go in there, which might happen. So we'll have to work with the security. We already have security. So that's one little problem we have.
Any more questions?
I think Vijay, okay, my brother, don't ask tough questions.
No. Actually, no question, just a comment. Really inspirational. Thank you for making me part of this story that you really sort of lived through and created this wonderful place. So a couple of things that struck me beautifully about this work is, one is you've really humanized the space. Humanizing space is something that many architects don't really practice. They build buildings using technology and structures and materials, but ultimately the space is going to be used by people, right? Yeah. So look at the way we are talking, right? It's like your backyard or sitting around and talking in the family. That's amazing. And the second thing is simplicity, right? You've eliminated a whole lot of cluttering factors, especially being a poet, right? you eliminated all the clutter and created a sort of simple space. Even the comment like one bucket of white paint can revive the whole place. Those kinds of things are really striking. I'm really proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your very valuable comments. Actually, I'm very happy today. Not because I designed this. Very happy I'm talking to you, sitting there. I'm sitting under this guy. That's I'm very happy because it looks very personal for me. Even the young architects, they are very close. I feel that, though I have not met many people, I feel that they are very close to a family, that kind of thing.
So that's a different kind of feeling because you're not on the dais.
Yeah.
Normally we look up to the
Yeah.
speaker. The hierarchy is different. We feel more confident in asking you questions.
That's exactly. Exactly. In fact, when I go for conferences, when I do a presentation, I stand up to keep other fellows not ask questions. You dominate the conference room. I always stand up on the conference room. I don't sit and talk. Then this fellow will be over you. That's a small philosophy trick you can try.